In a world where you can fear anyone, fear men. Why do men? Why do men? Why do men?
He said he acted through self-defense. What did he do? What did he do to his wife? He strangled her. Trigger warning. Because I want to say something very, He strangled her and cut her body into pieces. Put it inside blender and made a puree out of her body. He said he acted through self-defense because she came at him with a knife. She is his wife, or she was his wife. She had 2 kids for him. See, if you are not afraid of men in this world that you are living in, I don't know what else you're doing. What a man can do to you out of jealousy, you cannot comprehend it. We just finished talking about the woman in Uganda. Our ex-boyfriend poured gasoline all over her body and lit her, burned her alive. Thankfully, the later news we heard that because he was also 20% born or something, thankfully he's dead. Okay, so good. What is going on? People that kind of hurt you so much are the ones that are close to you. The men that hurt you so much are the ones that are close to you, are the ones that you trust. What do you mean by you acted by self-defense? And you now like self-defense. He said he was traumatized, so he had to. See, all these things, I see them in movies. In fact, when I see them in movies, I'm always like, no, I'm shouting. But this is happening real. I cannot believe this, to be honest. She's a model in Switzerland and she's no longer alive, obviously. Anyways, I have few reaction on this. I have few reaction on this news from people talking about this. Let's watch these videos together and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the videos.
So he strangled her, dismembered her body, and then put it in a blender and pureed her, which must have taken a significant amount of time. My blender is small. An autopsy revealed that and he used a jigsaw knife, but how does an autopsy see that if it's been blended? He's claiming it was self-defense because she attacked him. So self-defense leads all the way to blending. I knew a guy once who did something similar. He took the person apart and he put them in the fridge, and he was in this drug-induced psychotic state. So when he sobered up in the morning and he went to the kitchen to get breakfast, he couldn't believe his eyes. True story.
Pureed in a blender. Pureed in a blender. Like, why don't women leave? Why don't they leave? Why don't they just leave? 38-year-old former Miss Switzerland finalist Kristina Joksimovic, I hope I'm saying her surname correctly, was unalived by her husband, dismembered, and I hate this. I hate the way that this is a woman we're talking about here, not a fucking tomato. Was pureed in a blender by her husband, and now it's come out that she had expressed her desire to leave him. I was talking to one of my friends last night who's a feminist, and I was just like, it's always been like this, but at the minute it just feels like a lot. Like, you have the Olympian who has been set on fire by her partner. You've got this woman in France whose husband was inviting men round to her home to do the most horrific things. And now we have this, and it's just like, men are not okay. They're not okay. They're not. Like, I don't really know what else to say. Apart from the entire point of this video being that stop asking women why they don't just leave these men. Stop it. Because this is why they don't leave. Because it's safer to stay sometimes with these people than it is to try and leave and risk being pureed in a blender.
A third party had found the wife's remains. Then he went and got arrested. He came out and said it was self-defense because she had a knife. An absolute joke. But what really was heartbreaking to me was a few weeks prior to all of this happening, the wife actually posted on social media that they had a couple's getaway. The pictures that are circulating right now on social media and in newspapers, they do look like a picture perfect couple if you believe in that sort of thing, right? Here's the thing, you'd think they have no issues because we don't know anything about their lives, but she did confide in a friend and say she was actually planning to leave him. He had started a business, I guess maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I'm not quite sure when it was. The pressures of that business and then the pressure of him, maybe not being able to see his children and the wife leaving him got to him and he snapped. I mean, I'm sorry, I just think that's just excuses. I feel so bad for his wife. I mean, if you read what he did to this poor woman, trigger warning, he cut out her womb. I mean, his poor children, like they're going to read about all of this, what he did to their mother. And what really was even sickening was the simple fact that they said that while he was doing all of this, he was scrolling through social media. Also, it was reported that he was abusive in his previous relationships, and clearly he was abusive in this relationship because the wife confided in her friend that she wanted to leave him, but she was scared. Like the telltale signs were all there.
In a world where you can fear anyone, fear men. Why do men? Why do men? Why do men? Men do why? Why? Just when I think it can't get any worse, when I think to myself, surely we have reached the cap. We are at the top. We are at the top of it. Something happens that just chucks us over the edge. A former model who was a finalist in the Miss Switzerland contest was allegedly murdered and pureed. In a blender by her husband. Pureed in a blender by her husband. I choose the bear every single time. Every single time, I would rather roll in peanut butter and run into the deepest, darkest parts of the forest and be chased by bears than spend time in a forest with a man. I choose the bear. So they do an autopsy report, okay? And the ruling found that the body was dismembered in a laundry room with a jigsaw, knife, and gardening shears. In addition, body parts were then chopped up with a hand blender, pureed and dissolved in a chemical solution. Are you batshit? Are you insane? What? Help! Send literal help.
The world is a crazy place, and when you think you've seen it and heard it all, something comes and just tops it. I'm not sure if you heard the story out of Switzerland. The Miss Switzerland former finalist not only got strangled by her husband, he dismembered her and then pureed the rest of her body in a blender. This is supposed to be the closest person to her. I mean, I am absolutely, like, when I heard the story and I read about it, lost for words is an understatement. This is supposed to be the person closest to her. It is her husband, not a stranger, guys. Her husband. He pureed her in a blender. Let that marinate. The horror she must have gone through to be literally strangled, dismembered, and then bits and pieces of her body being pureed in a blender. I mean, it is actually diabolical. I mean, people are out here unhinged. I think women should be 1,000% weary of everything. I mean, clearly, the husband did this to, like,
If at this point of your life you are not terrified of men, I don't know, because I don't know. And some people still fight in the comment section of this kind of videos and be like, it is not it's not all men. My dad can't do that. My brother cannot do that. My husband cannot do that. He loves me till death. Do you think these men that do things like this, immediately they are meeting you for the very first time, they will just unalive you? Like, some do that anyway. But do you think that the ones that actually do that later on, they show it the very first time, they will manipulate you, they will lie? And according to what I heard about the news is, I think he has been, abusing her physically, and she was trying to leave. Maybe he found out that she wanted to leave and he doesn't want her to leave. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. So we cannot leave. Like, it's always very difficult for a woman to leave an abusive relationship. It's difficult for you to leave when you find out that your husband is on the down low. It's difficult for you to leave when you're not even happy, because once they know that you want to leave them, another man wants to have you, you are in soup. So for a woman to decide that she wants to leave a relationship, she has to plan it secretly. She has to not shout about it, not announce it, because you don't know what the man will do. You don't know the kind of man you have. And the thing is that you don't know the kind of man you have until you're in that situation. These men are very awful. There was even a video I saw. It's Nigerian. They were speaking local dialects. That was why I didn't kind of bring the video here. This man was beating his wife. I don't know who was recording it, but there was a record of the voice, and there's the sound. I didn't see, but I was hearing the sound. It was beating her. And the caption on the video was, it was beating her for 4 hours straight. Thankfully, there were armies that came to arrest him and also beat him blue black. But most of the time, women are not lucky to get that kind of rescue. Most of the time, these married women will stay, or they'll be stuck in that marriage where their man beats them. If you see the way the man was beating them, was saying, oh yeah, now talk now. So you cannot talk now. Before you were talking. Oh yeah, talk. It was beating her. I cannot even listen to that sound because it was very it shows that that's not the first time, and it shows that he will be doing that in front of his children. You don't like women, you hate women, they don't make you happy. Why are you getting married? Why do you want women around you? Go and meet the gender that makes you happy. Go and meet the gender that gives you joy. Why are you unaliving another man's child? Why are you unaliving women just because you're jealous? Just because you don't want? I don't just get it, because there's no reason. It's just act of wickedness. These men are, I don't even know the word to use. It's just so sad. I've been saying this news of this Switzerland these days. I just decided to talk about it today. So for some people that have not heard, and so for people that just think that, oh, there's no longer news. There are so many news that I've been saying. I just don't bring them here. This is another one. And this is another one. I need you to know what is going on in married homes. You're not safe. They can unalive you. And that is it. They're saying it's self-defense. I don't know if it's going to win the case. I don't even care. Anyways, what is your take on this? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And thank you so much for tuning in today's video. It's your girl, Maria Davis, of course. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.